Here we're looking at the CSEC Biology May June 2018 paper 1. Alright, let's have a go at this. Which of the following features is used to classify a group of organisms as class Insecta? So with this, we have to look at the number of segments. Which of the following sampling methods is most suitable for estimating the density of a mushroom in the garden? Right, the population density, right? This will probably speak about the quadrat. Living organisms such as plants are affected by abiotic factors which determine where they become established. Which of the following options lists some of these determining factors? Abiotic factors, right? So not sediment size, not these are not it. And no. So B. Right, how many food chains are here, right? So we have 1, 2, 3. Not sure if I have another 1, 2, 3. Which of the following statements describes the relationship between the ocelot and the iguana? Where the ocelot eats the iguana and the iguana eats a plant. So an ocelot eats the iguana and the iguana eats a plant. This is probably both iguana and the ocelot are predators. Alright, here we know. Trophic level represent the first trophic level is represented by whom? Right? Alright, so these are producers. Then you have the trophic levels going up there. So this will be by the zooplankton or the phytoplankton. So the trophic levels go up. So the first trophic level would probably be the producers, right? And they go up to consumers, etc. So I think it would be phytoplankton. Right? Approximately 10% of the energy stored in food is available to the next organism in the food chain because most energy is lost through heat and respiration. Which of the following materials is considered non-biodegradable? Alright, probably the sardine can. Which of the following statements best explains why coral reefs in the Caribbean are at risk? There's been an increase in the volume of sewage flowing into the reefs. Replanting trees on the burial site are an example of reforestation and restoration. Right? Phase 4 of the graph of population growth probably would show competition from an invasive species because we're seeing the population decreasing. When compared to the cheek cell, the muscle cell contains more mitochondria. Seeing here now, which of the following options best correctly identifies and describes the process occurring here? That looks sugar and construct. So more concentrated goes here. So water moves right here. Is the water moving? So now the sugar molecules stay the same, so it's gonna be water. So this does Moses clearly. Alright, so water is moving from diluted solution, right, to the concentrated sugar solution. Which of the following is not correctly matched to the organelle? This is true. Protein is a chloroplast. Nope. A mature plant cell is different from a mature animal cell because the plant cell has a permanent vacuole, large permanent vacuole. Which of the following graphs shows the effect of temperature on enzymes? Would be D. An enzyme is best described as a catalyst which increases rate of chemical reactions are unchanged at the end. Which of the following features does not enhance a leaf's ability to absorb solar energy? Presence of the vascular bundle has nothing to do with that. The food nature produced here is glucose. Which of the following organisms is a saprophyte? Right? Bread mold is a saprophyte. Which of the following statements best accounts for the shape of the graph of light intensity versus the rate of photosynthesis? Carbon dioxide levels increases. Right? And there's going to be, let me see here. Light intensity increases and there's a similar increase in photosynthesis until there is no further increase due to some other limiting factor. Here it says now, which of the following parts is labeled the rib 2? Which of the following conditions is an effect of nicotine found in cigarettes? Increased heart rate. The steps, increased heart rate, right? Encircled? Yes. The steps which listed below are involved in the clotting of blood. So in what order? First, blood vessels have to be damaged. When is the main storage product? What is the main storage product of the plant? B. Starch. They store energy as starch. Which of the following? Well, why is it difficult to develop a vaccine for the common cold? Because the virus changes frequently. Which of the following options correctly matches the gaseous exchange structure of an organism? So we have alveoli, gilt filament, large leaves, A. Which of the following options best describes or best identifies some of the transport substances in animals? 1 and 2. An amoeba obtains all the oxygen it needs by diffusion via the cell membrane, while the human has special respiratory surfaces for this purpose. The best reason to explain this is that humans' surface area to volume ratio is too small, right, for effective diffusion. Simple diffusion. Translocation of sucrose in plants occurs via specialized vessels, right? Of sucrose. So sucrose goes through the phloem. They have sieve poles in there at the end of their walls. 31. Under which conditions will the rate of transpiration be high? Right? Hot, sunny with high wind speed. A person who suffers from kidney disease are most likely to have increased concentration of glucose in their blood. Yes, it would be. Oh, the filtering system is not working. Hold on, let me check something. Increased concentration of probably urea within their blood. It's either this or this. You're probably going to be this, right? Locomotion is important to animals for avoiding predators, acquiring food and shelter for reproduction, all of them. Right? Which of the following parts are responsible for the production of the gametes? It would be 3. The best description for the role of excretion in living organisms is excretion would be excretion versus egestion. Excretion is getting rid of toxic waste as well. The role of an effector is to respond to the stimulus. Alright, which of the following which of the following diagrams shows the correct direction in which a nerve impulse passes through a reflex arm? So the skin coming through, so can't be that. A. Which of the following phrases correctly describes trophic movement in plants? Alright, so it's usually trophic movement. Not growth movement, but trophic movement like geotrophism and phototrophism. So I believe that it's reversible growth or growth or part movement. Alright, which of the following options best describes the term stimulus? Stimulus is and response, right? Deliberate provocation, exposure, no. Detectable change in the environment, okay. This is most likely due to the increase in light intensity. Which of the following options correctly identify the structures? 1 would be a receptor, so that is true. 2 would be a relay nerve. Alright, so we have that there. Which of the following, which of the choroid layers in the eye, right? What is the function of the choroid layer? It would be to control, prevent internal reflection. Which of the following is an incorrect label for the y-axis? We're showing the measurement of growth on organism. So we have the x and the y. So let's say that the unit of time would be 1x, right? So refers to the following activities involved in menstrual cycle. So which of the following sequences in correct order? So the menstrual cycle, what we're saying, we shed the uterine lining. Then we have the development of the graphic. Let me see here. So 1 says repair the uterine wall, then 2 ovulation, then 3 shedding of the uterine lining, then 4 the development of the Graafian follicle. C says Graafian follicle, then repair, then ovulation, then shedding. I think C is the best answer. The Graafian follicle will allow for the production of estrogen to build the wall. The following statements describe the following statements describe the processes taking place within a seed during germination. Why is it correct order? So soluble products move into the embryo. Then I see something. First, the enzymes have to break it down. So enzymes break down the proteins into amino acids. Then the soluble products come in. Then okay, so 2, 3, and 1. The production of new organisms from one parent is known as asexual reproduction. Which of the following forms of birth control is most likely 100% effective? This would be tubal ligation. A vector is defined as an organism that transmits pathogens. Alright? Which of the following statements is true for flower? 1. Well, 1 is probably, these are true. A 60-year-old man has been diagnosed with hypertension as well as diabetes. Which of the following treatments would be most effective in disease? Well, for the disease. Probably would be insulin injections. Which of the following best describes a chromosome? This would be a gene. Their base structure of the neuroptopal around histones. Ooh, this is weird. 2 forms of the same gene would be alleles. Structure made up of DNA wrapped around histones. Would this be chromosome? Why all of these seem so wrong? Let me check. Let's just say this. It's really terrible. As a result of mitosis, each daughter cell has the same number of chromosomes as the parent cell. Which of the following processes will result in genetically identical offspring? Cloning. A man with blood group A married a woman with blood group B. They had 2 children. each with group A, B, and A, and the alleles A and B are being described as codominant. Alright, variation is in a population is due to mutation crossing over 1 and 2. 56, which of the following is not a characteristic of meiosis? Incidentally deployed number. Which of the following descriptions is true about natural and artificial selection? Natural selection. Alright, so let's see what would be the best answer. A, well, 59, a species is best defined as a group of organisms that can interbreed and provide fertile offspring. And here we have 60. In which of the stages can insulin be produced by the bacterium? And 4, after recombination. Right, so that has been the biology, CSEC biology, May, June 2018 paper.